This video has been funded in part by the Guild via Patreon. Check out the links in the description or at the end of this video for more details. Hello everyone, my name is Gildart, and welcome back to another episode of The Daily Grind, the show where I give you tips and tricks on how to get the most out of the games we know and love. Even though I got my start with Dynasty Warriors 3, Dynasty Warriors 4 has been one of my favorites in the classic series for a very long time. I mean, I own 6 copies of the game, so that's gotta stand for something, right? Sure, there are better games overall, but Dynasty Warriors 4 holds a special place in my heart. It may be rose-tinted glasses, but I have a ton of nostalgia for it. I even love playing with the Dynasty Warriors 4 costumes in games like Dynasty Warriors 7 and 8, or Warriors Odachi 2, 3, and Z. But when I finally picked up a copy of Dynasty Warriors 4 Hyper on PC, my love for this game found new footing. Being able to play such an important game from my childhood with this high a resolution and dynamic lighting and shadows was so great. If you want more info on my thoughts on Dynasty Warriors 4 Hyper and why all of this footage is in Russian, you can check out the video in the iCard. But there's one thing I both like and dislike about Dynasty Warriors 4, and that's the weapon leveling system. I like it because it provides the player with a balanced level of progression as they play through the story, and you'll be guaranteed a 3rd level weapon with the full moveset eventually, even if you are playing on the easiest difficulty. I don't like it because that means that you have to go through the leveling system in order to get the 3rd weapon. Meaning, unlike the previous Daily Grind episode on Dynasty Warriors 5, you can't just jump into a stage and grab a bunch of 3rd level weapons. So much like a stripper in training, I need to get good at grinding. I have played so much of this game that I ended up developing a 3-stage grinding method that helped me pop everyone's level 9 weapon, all of their costumes, and max out both health and muso. And so that's why we're here today, to talk about my method for grinding out weapon levels, costumes, and stats. But before we go too far, don't forget to give this video a like, comment with your thoughts below, and of course subscribe if you haven't already. Alright, let's jump into things. Starting with stage 1, you need a battle that is relatively easy and gives you a good opportunity to gain a lot of weapon experience in comparison to the difficulty. The best stage that I found for that was the Yellow Turban Rebellion. There are a total of 16 officers for you to take out. They will give you 102 weapon experience, with the exception of Zhang Jiao, who gives you 408. This gives you a total of 1,938 weapon experience if you don't combo or use charge attacks and you kill all of them. You also get about 5 item drops from officers, and Zhang Jiao doesn't drop anything. Zhang Bao and Zhang Liang drop a defense and attack +2 respectively. So this means a total of 12 stat increases per playthrough. I also really like this stage because it really shows off the lighting and shadows of Dynasty Warriors 4 Hyper. Having red hair will help with all of these stages, but it isn't an absolute requirement. I do also give specific items to my characters to make this experience that much faster. First is the Blast Orb, so when I have a full muso, I can attack through enemy guards. Next is the Tiger Amulet and Tortoise Amulet to increase my attack and defense. Then I equip the Speed Scroll, which is nice and handy when I stray too far from red hair. The 4th slot goes to the Wind Scroll to increase my reach, and if I have a 5th slot, I usually fill it with the 7-star Sash to try to get better items when I'm grinding. I also usually don't take bodyguards into these stages with me just because they can get in the way, but if you have some bodyguards to level up, this might not be a bad time to take them. How I usually start the Yellow Turban Rebellion is going directly in front of the Allied main camp. There's 2 officers here that you can take out for 204 weapon experience and 2 stat drops. From here, go east to the 1st archway and you'll find the next officer. After that, go north just to the right of the enemy gate and you'll find another one. There should be another officer in the open area to the east in front of the furthest archway. Now go north to where Bozhang and Zhang Liang are. You'll get an event where Zhang Liang starts a boulder attack. Take them both out and don't forget to grab the Muso wine near the most eastern part with the 3 vases. Now we're going to go southwest just north of the furthest archway. There should be 2 officers in this area, but one or both may have died depending on how long it took you to get here. Once they're down, we're going to head to the base where Zhang Bao is. This will trigger an event where Zhang Bao starts attacking with fire geysers. There's another officer in this base as well, so take out both of them and head to the center. In the hall that would lead to Zhang Liang's area, there's an officer there to take out. Then there are 3 others in Zhang Jiao's area. He's in the north, and there are officers in the southwest and east. After you take out the one to the east, make sure you grab the dim sum in the vase to the northeast. Then it's just take out Zhang Jiao and you're done. Just be mindful to leave the gate captain to the north, because if you take him out, Zhang Jiao's gonna retreat. With red hair equipped, I was able to average a 10 to 15 minute time with each playthrough and between 200 to 300 kills. I usually only did this enough times to get the second costume, which would unlock another item slot for that character. This should only take 1 to 2 playthroughs of the stage depending on how many kills you get. The second part of my grinding is with Lu Bu's Revolt. This is probably my favorite part of the grinding experience because there is an easy path which guarantees you to take out each and every officer. By this time, your weapon level should either be 2 or 3 depending on how many playthroughs of the Yellow Turban Rebellion you needed. So you'll still only have 4 hits to your weapon. But now we have 13 officers who give you 204 experience, plus Dong Zhuo who gives 816. This means a minimum of 3,264 weapon experience per playthrough as long as you kill every officer. There are also no item drops from officers, and everyone gives +1, so you can expect 12 stat increases in total, just like the Yellow Turban Rebellion. I will say if you're playing Dynasty Warriors 4 Xtreme Legends, you can jump directly into this stage on very easy without having to do the Yellow Turban stage. For those playing vanilla Dynasty Warriors 4 or Hyper, you will have to finish Lu Bu's story first before taking this on. You're going to start the stage by jumping off your horse and taking out the enemies to the south. Trying to keep the horse with you through this stage is a hassle, and it can actually get in the way, but we'll be coming back to this point later. You'll need to take out every last troop in this area in order to move on. When the doors open, we're going to head to the west and take out the officer here. You can ignore the troops in this area. Once you kill him, move to the south and take out the next officer. You'll also need to take out all the troops here in order to open the door to the south. When it opens, run all the way south. An ambush unit will appear, but you can just ignore them. All you need to do is take out the officer and troops in the far south and grab the Muso wine. From here, the doors will reopen and you'll want to head north. The moment you walk past the doors, they'll close again and another ambush unit will appear. Head to the east and take out the officer and troops here. This will open the doors again and you'll want to move back to the area with the first officer. Yet another ambush unit will appear, but you only need to take out the 5 troops in front of the door to the east in order to open all of them. Once the doors are open, head to the room to the east and go south to kill that officer. Then you'll want to go to the hall to the east and kill the officer to the south by the door. Once you take him out, go to the very starting point where you left your horse. A new officer would have spawned there. This is the reason why we left our horse here, because when you take that officer out, you're going to want to jump back on your horse and head to the southeastern corner to kill another officer. Then head to the room to the west and kill the officer to the south. In this same room just to the left of the throne, there's a vase with the dim sum. From here, you want to head to the north where Li Ru is. Take him out, Hua Xiong is to the west, and then all that's left is Dong Zhuo to the south, and you're done. Sometimes if you're fast enough, you can kill Dong Zhuo even before the event with him and Lu Bu starts. Unless you're playing as Lu Bu, then it's just gonna happen every time. This is my absolute favorite grinding stage because I can finish it in about 5 to 7 minutes and get every officer kill. I can literally just turn my brain off and enjoy the grind. But there's still one more step to go. From here you have a choice to make. Either do Lu Bu's Revolt until you pop the 3rd and 4th costume, or until you've reached max health and Muso. I personally go for max health and Muso, but the 3rd stage in grinding can be taken on before that. I just find you'll definitely have the 6-hit combo by the time you've reached max health and Muso. This will mean you'll have a higher attack too. And I like my grinding to be easy. Whether you choose option A or B, you will want to jump into a higher difficulty stage. The purpose of this higher difficulty stage is to get more weapon experience and stat boosts. The easiest stage in my opinion is Yiling, and you can choose either Shu or Wu's side, but choosing Shu will give you more weapon experience. With Yiling, unique generals will give you 614 experience, and generics will give 307. On Wu's side, there are 4 unique generals and 10 generics, plus Liu Bei who gives 1,228. So that means 6,754 weapon experience. If you play this stage on Shu's side, there are 7 unique generals and 8 generics, plus Sun Jian who gives the same amount as Liu Bei. This means that Shu's side can give you a total of 7,982 weapon experience. You'll also get a +4 drop from all of the unique generals. So the stat increases from this stage are pretty good for grinding too. If you've got a level 9 weapon and you're just feeling lazy like I do most days, you can just mash X on free mode and start the stage on Wu's side. From your perspective, the stage is going to play out relatively the same no matter which side you choose. Similar to playing Lu Bu's Revolt, you should leave your horse around the starting area. You're going to want to slowly press forward, taking out every general and most troops along the way. Eventually, you're going to receive a message. If you're playing on Shu's side, Zhuge Liang is going to say to protect the watchtowers, which you're just going to ignore and keep pressing the attack. If you're playing on Wu's side, Lu Xun will say to destroy the watchtowers, which you should do as you're pressing the attack. On Wu's side, just be careful not to get too close to Liu Bei. Either way, once the event for the fire attack happens, kill the officers in your immediate area and then go grab your horse. If you're playing on Wu's side, you'll want to head straight to the Stone Sentinel maze. If you're playing on Shu's side, Zhou Tai and the Qiao sisters will appear in the Shu supply camp. One or two may head to the maze, but the point is to take them all out and then head straight through the maze. There is a dim sum in the maze, so if you're playing on Wu's side, you'll want to head east, south, south, west, north. Then the dim sum is in the vase toward the north. From here, you'll head back to the start, where you'll want to go along the outer side of the maze in order to escape. On the Shu side, the Stone Sentinel maze doesn't move, but there is a clear path from the entrance to the exit. This path will take you to the dim sum anyways. Not too long after you leave the maze, an event will trigger where Zhuge Liang will call some boats to connect the Shu and Wu main camps. Head up there and start to cross. In the middle is a small island, and to the north are two vases, one of which has the Musa wine. After this, cross over to the Wu main camp area and take out all the generals before finishing off either Liu Bei or Sun Jian. And I just usually do this until I pop the final Dynasty Warriors 3 costume for that character, and then I start planning to work towards their level 10 weapons. If you want to grind out some more stats, you can either continue to play Yiling, or just play through Muso mode until that character is maxed out. Then swap to a different character and continue. I personally don't find you need a fully maxed out character in order to go for the level 10 weapon, but it definitely makes things easier. Personally, I like to have all of my officers around the same stage, but you can go through these grinding stages with one character until they're maxed out before moving on to the next one if you want. This is a much longer process to getting the third weapon than in Dynasty Warriors 5, but at least this is mindless enough that I can turn it on every now and then and just play through a couple of stages when I have the time. Now I know what some of you are thinking. What if I only have Dynasty Warriors 4 Xtreme Legends? Is this going to be similar to the Dynasty Warriors 5 daily grind where I'm going to have to buy the vanilla version because the only good stages for grinding are in that? Well, I've actually got some news for you. Dynasty Warriors 4 Xtreme Legends by itself is probably one of the most disappointing releases in the Muso franchise. It may not be the worst release, but the lack of content that was added, and to try to play this as a standalone title, it's just so bare bones. But that doesn't mean all hope is lost. The issue with Dynasty Warriors 5 Xtreme Legends and grinding was that you only had access to Legend mode, which was designed for fresh characters to take on. It wasn't meant to be a progressively difficult gameplay. So popping third level weapons ended up being more tied to difficulty than to stage. With Dynasty Warriors 4's weapon leveling system, we just need to find a good stage with lots of enemies and generals. The best stage that I personally found was Lu Bu's Legend mode stage. This can easily be done fairly quick with anyone on the easiest difficulty, racking up kills and weapon experience with ease. Unlike all the other methods, there's no real strategy when it comes to this stage. Just slowly increase the difficulty as you grind away to increase the points for ranking your characters up and unlocking more costumes, as well as that sweet weapon experience. I would still say that your best bet is to combine Dynasty Warriors 4 Xtreme Legends and the base game, but at least not all hope is lost. You'll eventually not only get your level 9 weapon, but also the Dynasty Warriors 3 costumes and maxed out stats. Just remember that the Dim Sum and Muso wine are in the vases near the bottom and top gates respectively. The stage should only take you about 10-ish minutes, and will definitely go faster the stronger you are. Just keep hammering away at it until all of your characters are maxed out. And there you have it, my preferred method of grinding in Dynasty Warriors 4. Now, it may be a hassle to be dealing with the weapon leveling system to tackle this game from scratch, but that hasn't deterred me from starting this game over time and time again. Though I will say I don't start over of my own accord. I honestly don't even know how many times I've had to restart Dynasty Warriors 4 at this point. There was when I first got it on PS2, when I picked it up again after selling it, then when I started playing it on my Xbox 360 thanks to the backwards compatibility, realized that there's a bug that reverts you back to an old version of your save file, so I started again playing it on my original Xbox. Started it another time when I realized I could get better footage through emulation, and finally now that I have Dynasty Warriors 4 Hyper. And I'll probably have to start all over again once I feel rich enough to drop $80 to $100 on the English version. But either way, I'll have my good old grinding method when that time comes. I hope this video helps you with your grinding, or just took you on a trip down memory lane. Either way, I'll be here playing one of my favorite games of all time. Anyways, everyone, thank you so much for watching this episode of The Daily Grind. If you enjoyed it, give it a like and subscribe for more. What else would you like to see me cover? Let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to help support this channel and what I do here, you can join the guild, just like these awesome people that you're seeing on screen right now. You can join their names at the end of every single video for just $1 a month over on Patreon, or you can donate on a one-time basis and join the volunteer unit over on Coffee. A special shout out to my guild general, Beggy Beg Beg, for supporting this channel at the highest tier. There are other rewards and other tiers as well, so check out the links that you see on screen, and I will see you all down in the comments.